welcome to Eagle Tech Talks. We're excited right now to be here with Air Networks, and we're going to be talking about SD-WAN and a product that is brand new. I think it's brand new. It's Nexus One. Am I correct, David?
That's correct.
Yeah. So I'm going to introduce, or David's going to introduce himself, and then he's going to pass the ball to the rest of the team. David, how you doing? Can you tell us a little bit about you to our audience and get us excited about what you do? And I'm going to be start asking a lot of questions, very spicy ones in the technology world.
Thank you, Edward. I appreciate it. Edward and I have known each other for a long time, since before the pandemic. So for all transparency, we are buds. We're friends. We're in the same business, and we love each other. So yes, my name is David Adame. I've been in the business since 1992. Back in the day, mostly wholesale telecom support. I was mostly involved with the interconnectivity between Mexico and the U.S. And then after that, I started opening other markets: Chile, Brazil, Venezuela, Colombia. Back in the day when we were making a lot of money back then. After that, I became involved in the managed services in digital transformation. This is before it even became a coin phrase. We were doing a lot of that integration with IP PBXs, managed software, and of course, tech support remotely. I recently sold Helifox, and I said recently, about 3 years ago, maybe. And met Benjamin, an extremely talented guy that somehow got me in love again with technology and support. And we both developed this new company, Air Networks, that provides support to MSPs that are maybe just starting. They're maybe struggling with trying to get resources. And we support them with not just technology but also know-how, and in some cases shepherding through the dark side of IT. So we have put together a new product that is called Nexus One. It's an SD-WAN, but with a more efficient way of connection between point to point, that provides not just redundancy but also security that can be easily managed, through a pane of glass. So a single pane of glass. So I'm going to hand this over now to Benjamin Alvarez, my partner, and then let him introduce himself to you guys. Go ahead, Ben.
Thanks, David. My name is Benjamin. I've been in the space for IT space for over 20 years, and I've stepped in a few different spots. Networking being one of them. I've also done management. I manage a entire team of technicians and engineers for a medical company that was going national, but then along the way it was acquired by a bigger player. And after that, I decided to part ways and joined David on this adventure. And so yeah, the product that we develop, it's a true SD-WAN. And when I say true SD-WAN, I mean that the actual technology lives inside the solution. We don't delegate the job to devices. Is the whole infrastructure what is in charge of developing the SD-WAN in real time. And so we went a step ahead and not only do SD-WAN for offices, for data centers, but we also expanded this to mobile solutions. First responders, for example, government vehicles that are always on the move, and they have a need for an excellent level of connection, a dedicated bandwidth. That's where our product shines. And so all of this is possible thanks to the help of Carlos, which I'm gonna pass the mic to explain a little bit more.
Thanks, Benjamin. Yeah, I work for Air Networks as a network security engineer. So SD-WAN architect, you can call it, because I support all the SD-WAN infrastructure across our different clients, and also work a lot with our alliances, which are important in this way. to support a better platform for clients. So we can have alliances with ISPs, with different 5G private providers, and another alliances which are cybersecurity alliances. So we can support all the infrastructure of our clients across networking, cybersecurity. It doesn't matter because we have a lot of alliances here. So that's my main role here in Air Network.
All right. So if I hear correctly, then Carlos is the one who does all the work, and the other
Probably.
two just getting the checks.
Yeah, so
We
actually,
go to lunch.
you can't see him here. Yeah, you can't see him from here, but he's actually chained to that desk.
All right. So what can you? I mean, how do you guys come out with the idea? I mean, who approached who? I mean, how do that dynamic started happening? I know David had a very successful MSP that he sold, and then he took a long vacation where he decided to get rid of all his hair, and then now you're returning back from those movies when the people retire and then people calling back, David, you have to come back to the IT world. We need you in this field. So how do you guys come out with Air Networks?
Oh, it's exactly that. It's like Denzel Washington and I don't know how the fifth a movie, the Equalizer. Yeah,
Equalize. Oh yeah.
yeah. Honestly, I did not have the intention to go back into technology. I was actually looking at another startup, which was GoGo Gig, which you're familiar with, which is mostly geared to musicians and the art scene. It's a platform that connects artists and also connects them with gigs. So if you're looking for a mariachi band to play on your quinceañera, your daughter's quinceañera, you could go on GoGo Gig and hire them or get different quotes, and then have them delivered to you like Uber. And but artists are broke, so I can't see any money on that. It was more of a labor of love. My family, they're all musicians. My kids are musicians, so I just thought, oh yeah, this might work, but it's just it's dealing with the left brain and the right brain. But somehow Benjamin and I had known each other for a little bit, actually before the pandemic as well. And or right after the pandemic, I can't remember. He came across as a very smart young guy, and we worked together in a different project here in Texas, supporting a county entity, and I found him incredibly intelligent, and and of course it did help that his family is also from where my family comes from in Mexico. So we started there, and it was just good chemistry. Just we clicked, but we didn't see
I
any.
mean, that's not rare. You always hear the saying, people do business with people they like.
That's right.
And it's
That's
very
correct.
important that you have a good chemistry to start a company, especially if you're partnering up. Gotta have. Imagine going to business with someone that you despise. That would be
That's
awful. So yeah, that's I think that's great. One of my first question would be SD-WAN, and our audience may not understand the whole picture of what is an SD-WAN, but some people might. Uh, but why do you guys start with this concept? I mean, where do you saw the need first that you said we need to start this company and start with this product? How
so,
that need came to be?
so I'm gonna let this guy right here in this square talk. Is Benjamin. I don't know if he's in that square or not, but go ahead, Benjamin.
So I was in charge of vetting vendors for this medical company. So that's how I discovered a lot of new technologies that were unknown for us. And us, I meant the team that were managing that company. So we had, the regular firewall inside the office, and then we tried to do as much as the software will allow us to do. Um, but then one of the big players in the market came for to do a demo and start explaining a lot of stuff that was different than that we've done things like in the past, right? So that's when we decided to implement their solution. But during that journey of it was a 3-year journey with them. I also started researching their competitors and other players in the space and realized that the market was going in another direction, that just having a device on site to do all the stuff, right? and then that's when you start looking at new technologies, new patterns, and not only for security, but also to save money at the same time that you increment bandwidth and reliability on your internet links. That's how I started doing research, and then I have a few clients that I support on my MSP side, and I started looking for a solution that will do that enterprise level of functionality for smaller companies, and I didn't find it. So that's when I say I want to deploy the big guns on my small clients, but I don't need it to be expensive, meaning that it's not an enterprise tag that Fortune 500 companies can pay, but the smaller clients also they deserve it. They should be able to afford it. That's how all this solution or the conversation for this solution started.
Well, I mean, I think being an affordable, SD-WAN solution is key, especially in this economy. And as you said, to have an enterprise level product without paying the enterprise premium is is very attractive. But just going back a little bit of back in the day, the one, back when David went to high school,
I had hair.
you have to you have to pay a dedicated circuit from one building to the next building to interconnect the two buildings. Back in the 90s, I used to be working for oil in Caracas, and we used to have a one between three buildings, and we used to play in that one Quake. I don't know if you remember those days, and it was amazing. You just be able to connect one building to the other building across the city, and it was like, wow, that's amazing. But then those circuits very very expensive back in the day. Then moving forward, we end up with software defined ones, which is for and if I say something technically incorrectly, feel free to correct me. But the SD-WAN or the software defined one is the concept of having equipment terminating VPN tunnels to create that virtual network, that virtual one, like seamlessly. You can actually talk to different buildings or different connections, different offices. I remember the first time that I see something like that, even though they might not be the first one, but the first time that I saw SD-WAN was with Cisco Meraki. And if they were not one of the first one to do something like that, definitely they had the marketing for it. So they actually market heavily in SD-WAN technology, and then the
Yes.
other brands start copying or using the terminology.
Yes.
What is for those people, because I come across with those people that they could say, well, SD-WAN is just I just get a couple of firewalls and I terminate the VPN. I don't need that. Uh, why your product is different, and how your SD-WAN is superior to just SD-WAN from Meraki or from, I don't know, Aruba Networks. Uh, and I know that you guys also implement that technology with 5G. If because I think David mentioned that you also complement, you have 5G one as well. Am I correct in that?
That's private 5G network.
Yeah.
Yes. We
It's a
deploy.
private 5G. So that's something that I wanted to get into. What make this SD-WAN so different from the other ones, and why is more affordable
Yeah,
than the
happy
regular
to respond
SD-WAN?
that. So the difference is the solution. For example, Fortinet is good at security, right? Sophos is good at security. Meraki is good at making things easy. 2, 3 clicks, you got your connection up and running. And that is the basics of networking. But when it comes to SD-WAN, you delegate on the traditional SD-WAN like Sophos, Meraki, and Fortinet. You delegate the SD-WAN tasks to a small appliance. So best you can do with those small appliances is create rules to say, well, if latency is high on my circuit number one, just use circuit number two, right? Um, so and it works, but a couple of things, you get a lot of trouble trying to make a a bad circuit a good circuit, right? It's almost impossible, and you never fully utilize the circuits because you can say, well, send voice through circuit number 2 because circuit 1 is having issues. Our product is different since or starting at the topology. So in those devices, the SD-WAN resides on the actual firewall. Our SD-WAN resides on the whole infrastructure. And let me give an example. So one thing that Meraki and the other players don't do is packet duplication. So what we do is we put together several circuits in a specific office. It could be a share fiber, could be a coax circuit, could be LTE, 5G, or you can put one of each, right? We can aggregate up to 25 circuits, and then we not only aggregate the bandwidth, but, and this is what makes the difference, we route all the traffic to our data centers. So in our data center, there is an SD-WAN hub. The job of that hub is to analyze every packet from every connection and say, okay, Verizon is having issues in this exact moment, so I'm going to discard all those packets. And I'm just going to stay with whatever is coming from the share fiber and the coax circuit. So what you get at the end, it's almost a dedicated like quality circuit, but done through an aggregation of several circuits, non-dedicated circuits, right? So instead of paying for a super expensive MPLS or a dedicated link, you pay a fraction of the cost for a regular circuit. You aggregate 2 or more, and you get the same quality, right?
So,
That
in
was
terms of security, because I know people going to ask, with the concept of the SD-WAN that you VPN here, one office to the other office, and then I VPN to the other one, like that, which does not guarantee the quality of the data, the quality of the circuit, or anything like that. You said that all the traffic goes through your data center first,
yes,
and that is what gives the quality of the circuit, and you can aggregate
yes.
circuits, which is amazing. But then, if you speak with a network engineer, it's gonna be, yeah, that's what I want. But then you have the other guy, which is the ISO, the security guy, and the security guy is gonna say, I don't like that. How do we, get the security guy buy into this? What are the security measures that I know that Air Networks is not watching my data, for example, or nobody else is watching my data?
hmm Well, and that is the next phase of the product. So once we have a almost perfect link to our data center, we route the traffic to a security appliance in that same data center. So the next stop is going to be the security appliance where we're going to apply all security policies, IPS, you name it, and you can add as many features or remove as many features as you need. We have a standard, we have a template that we believe is the standard across the board, but we can always manipulate it. We can remove or add more products. So to
So
respond to
is
your
that
question, we
appliance
also do
provided by you, or that's appliance by the client,
by us.
the
It's
security
it's
appliance?
yeah, it is one of our solutions. We have two flavors, two of the biggest players in security. So we use one as a default, but we can always add another one if we have a client that says, you know what, I don't like this brand. I like to use this one. We have the flexibility to spin another entity and just route your traffic through that brand.
Okay, Benjamin, by any chance you used to work a lot with Cisco, like legacy Cisco equipment? No, that's because to me it was funny that Benjamin was saying, you got these guys are very good at security. These are the guys good in infrastructure and networking. And Meraki, they just make things pretty. They
You
don't
know,
do,
we
they don't
they
do much. They just make it look.
yeah, nobody's ever been fired for buying Meraki or Cisco, right? But I've gotten a couple of guys demoted, at
No,
least.
no, I bet. No, I mean, I used to be a big Cisco fan, but they're not the Cisco that it used to be.
Right.
There is too many too many new players, too many people that are doing great things,
Yeah.
and and Cisco, I think at one point they were the guys. Now they're just one of the guys. So and it happens. I mean, Microsoft the same thing. They used to be the top of the world. Now they have to fight head to head with so many players. I mean, Amazon and for the cloud services, and they fighting with Linux and Mac in the OS. The world changed. I mean,
Yeah, well,
infrastructure, the technology,
yeah,
everything.
you and me are familiar with international governments. I mean, we support, we both support international organizations operating in the U.S. And
Yeah.
this diplomatic organizations, I bump into using Huawei in the U.S. And I looked at that device, I looked at the appliance, I look at the, Benjamin and I was looking at it, looking at this thing in, managed from the local government, international governments, and oh my gosh, I mean they're pretty good. They look really nice. If you give me a choice, I mean they're going to spy on you regardless. It could be the same U.S. government, or it could be China. Somebody's going to. I think that they are losing the edge on that because they're coming from behind. I mean, even Ubiquity. I mean, it's they're
No,
coming from
Ubiquity,
behind, and
Ubiquity is something. Probably we'll have to do a podcast just to talk about Ubiquity, which it is a company came from nowhere and it has Cisco begging for mercy,
oh,
and another player
have you
too.
seen Alta Labs? They're the guys from Ubiquity. They jumped off, and now they're starting their own thing. And Alta Labs, oh my God, they're amazing, and they're aggressively launching in the U.S. One of our partners, Altex. Let me plug in Altex Electronics, based in San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, and in Corpus Christi. They provide all kinds of electronics and computer equipment there. Anyways, they're our partners, and they are launching Alta Labs. And my gosh, the great quality, easy to use, amazing interfaces, and the price, man, cheaper than Ubiquity. But anyways, yeah, you and I need to have another, whole new podcast just about
Another
that. I'll bring
conversation.
those guys over so they can tell us.
Okay. Well, jumping back to the SD1 thing. So let's talk about something that is not very common, or at least regular network people uh, don't talk much, which is the SD1 aggregating private 5G. So how does your technology integrate? How you guys came out with that idea? I noticed that Benjamin, you said probably first responders they use 5G a lot. Uh, so how's that technology that you guys are using for the SD1 integrate or aggregate the 5G, right? Is that correct? I heard correctly that you can aggregate the 5G to a regular circuit as well?
Yeah, so two sections of 5G. So we use 5G from Verizon. We're partners with Verizon. So we use their 5G solutions to pull data from their towers, right? That's another solution. Now, private 5G it's a competition for Wi-Fi in a sense, but more secure.
Mm-hmm.
It reaches longer. The quality of the link is way better, but it's also more expensive. So it's creating a small cellular network inside a huge warehouse. So instead of having the Wi-Fi password, you have to have a SIM card on your devices. But it's only
SIM card,
devices
okay. But it's
registered to
secure
that.
though.
It is. Because you control who has access to the network through SIM cards, not through password.
Okay, so you have to have the and is those are physical SIM cards or could
They
also
can
be
do.
those eSIM.
The system accepts both.
Okay, great. So let me actually, because I mean I work with local government too, and I know that probably police departments, uh, firefighters, they sometimes they need private network connectivity over 5G because they are on the move.
Yes.
Is that something that if we use your technology for interconnecting the offices, I can add the 5G networks on those mobile units. Like say, for
Yeah.
example, I want to have all the police from, let's say, Fairfax County here in Virginia. So I want to have the 5G network of all the police cars also talking to the offices or a section of the offices or the dispatcher or something like that. Is that something that you guys do very well?
Yeah, Dave and I were working on a project for a local town here in Texas. So what we came out with is the topology is having the hub inside the police department office. So all the
Okay.
the, the emergency cars will have another device, and instead of us going out to the internet, coming back to the police station, the topology will do a tunnel between every car or every ambulance back to the police department. So all the traffic stays private and encrypted. We only use Verizon and AT&T towers to create the tunnel, but that traffic is encrypted. So everything is local, everything is encrypted. We actually create a network using public infrastructure.
And going back to the affordability of these solutions, because we got rich, well, we'll say rich, but one of the richest counties in the U.S. is here in Northern Virginia, which they probably have money to have expensive infrastructure. But then you travel, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 miles south, and then you get very poor county that don't have resources to afford a rich, private 5G network. Is this type of solution, affordable for those small counties as well?
It is. Yes, it is.
And I would say this, traditionally, these type of critical service providers have relied on FirstNet with AT&T and Cradlepoint, which I think they use NetCloud as a platform to deploy the licenses to each one of these devices that are installed on each one of the units. It's incredibly expensive and super difficult to put together. The licenses is yearly, so that's an added cost. And then, of course, FirstNet is not cheap. What Benjamin and Carlos have accomplished is to put together this, a technology or a solution that's superior, lower cost, and that is carrier agnostic. So it doesn't matter what carrier you use, you can put it on these devices and it will work. What's happened in the market is that everything gets purchased, especially here in Texas. I'm sure that it's the same way in Virginia. You don't have to buy everything to DIR, and then you get some, maybe some funding from USAC, or maybe you get an E-rate from a local county, for a local county. But the truth is that DIR is just as expensive as just buying the darn service through a retail or a direct sales agency. So at the end of the day, not only providing a more efficient and better technology and platform for them to do whatever they want with it, but also we cut costs and I'm talking about the 5G and LTE and is one thing, but we also use and apply other technologies and solutions like private 5G canopies that can provide additional support to these organizations within their areas, districts, or communities. So there's a lot of that coming very soon, and this also applies to manufacturing. Manufacturing is using this stuff too, and we're going to see a big growth in that.
No, and I bet the demand is there, but also because of cybersecurity issues. I mean, we are right now in the middle of a war, if you can call it. I mean, we got, Iran, we got Russia, we got China, all of them pissed off the U.S. And they are trying to attack us. They're trying to get to a small business. I bet they're trying to get to counties to destroy police facilities and shut down systems. So those are small counties, and just thinking out loud here. I was just thinking, those are small counties that don't have the luxury of having large funds or not receiving help from the federal government. I mean, if they can afford something like this, it will make their network way secure.
Well, not only they can't afford not to have this, Edward. And let me say that maybe some of these communities may have the money because they can get this through funding through the federal government. There are some vehicles where they can purchase this stuff at very low cost. The problem is they don't have somebody like you, they don't have somebody like this guy or somebody like this guy that can help them implement it. And that, to me, is the biggest strength that Air Networks provides to those communities. We provide them with air support. So we help them implement, we'll help them, administrate it. And if they can't or they don't have the resources to manage it, we'll go ahead and manage it. But one thing that I wanted to make clear at the beginning of the conversation is that we're not an MSP, right? We want MSPs to grow and be successful. So generally, what we do is we contact MSPs and say, hey, look, there's a community here, an MSP, an organization that needs support. We have the technology. Once you partner up with us, you take care of them. They're going to be your customers, because we find that to be a much better path to success for implementation, and of course for managing it.
Yeah, so I got another question quickly about the technology part. Maybe Benjamin and Carlos can give me some light here. As we we route all the traffic through your data center, right, to improve the quality of the circuit. Is that data center or the equipment or the solution is FedRAMP or have any other certifications that can help counties and local government and even federal government to actually, make them easy for them to actually get that product because of this? Or you guys are working towards that? How's that working in your end?
You want to take that one, Benjamin? Or you want me to take it? I'll take it. So FedRAMP, we have FedRAMP here in Texas. We have TexRAMP also, which is the same thing as FedRAMP, but a little dumber. And the technologies that we're using are FedRAMP, but the tasks, the operations of each one of these organizations has to be certified or tested as FedRAMP. So each particular case has to be audited and then certified as FedRAMP. So our SOC and NOC are local, and they're here in San Antonio, and they're based at a different location, and they manage their tech stack is FedRAMP, the telco is FedRAMP, and then they have FedRAMP pods, okay, for each one of the clients. We are working right now on the first FedRAMP pods that is going to have the CCAS, FedRAMP CCAS, FedRAMP RMM, FedRAMP assistant FedRAMP implementations. So yes, to respond is that each one of the cases has to be certified FedRAMP. We can't share the same a device or appliance for a FedRAMP operation and a non-FedRAMP operation. So it has to be set up that way. We work in partnership with two large cybersecurity companies in the U.S. One of them is OC Vision. It's a local company. They do a lot of DoD and federal contracting. They're based here in San Antonio. That's another conversation, another podcast for you. I can bring those guys in as well.
No, we're gonna talk about SOC in a different
and RSM
program.
Yeah, now RSM is a larger cyber security company. They do a lot of auditing for financial institutions. So they have a different process as well. So again, we deal mostly with the partner, not with the end user. So we approach every single one of these opportunities, with a different approach.
So maybe too soon to ask this, or maybe not. I mean, knowing you, maybe it's not too soon. But how about working international? I mean, we have. Is this solution also a good product? And I think the answer will be probably yes. But I will leave to you guys to tell me yes or not. But for example, right now that Venezuela is in a transition, so they probably will reopen the embassy here in DC, and they're going to reopen a lot of embassies where all the embassies have been closed in the past. Is this product good to offer it to governments to have an SD-WAN worldwide, to interconnect all their embassies, for example? Are you guys already thinking about that stage? Again, knowing David, I'm pretty sure that he is, but I have to ask a question. And am I in the right path or what?
Yes. Yeah. So we currently provide services to two international organizations. One of them is diplomatic, and the other one is manufacturing. And yes, this model is specifically designed after that need. So yes, that will be the other answer. So this is definitely a product that we would in the case of Venezuela, we wouldn't partner up with anybody else except Eagle Tech. Because we've known each other for a long time, and I know you guys are legit, and this is a perfect, for us, a perfect a model to support that organization. Colombia, same
But
thing.
in the case where you guys already have diplomatic contracts with these uh, the governments, I would say, what is the biggest concern? Because when we have tried here in Washington D.C. Help embassies and foreign governments, one of the biggest challenges that we have is the State Department of each country, or the chancellors in each country. They don't trust anybody. They don't want other companies from different countries to intervene because of security issues. So don't touch my network and stuff like that. How Air Networks approach this diplomatic institution, and have you experienced any pushback because you are an American company, or maybe that's an advantage that you have? I don't know.
Well, let me say that if I see ice, I run. So just so you know. But the the platform can be managed by a any entity. So we can basically carve out modules of the platform and then hand that over for them to administrate. And we basically take a step back and we just support them on the back end for tier 2, tier 3 issues. But we can carve that out so they can administrate it, and we take a step back completely. So that can be also air gapped. So if their requirement is, we need this air gapped and we want it for us, we can also do that. We can set it up at their own data center, air gap it, leave it there, and if they have an issue, they can call us and we can give them support. So, and again, we are carrier agnostic. To us, it doesn't matter what carrier they're using. If they want to get their own SIM cards, they can also get their own SIM cards. If they want to use their own appliances, they can use their own appliances. All we do is we set up the carriage and they can drive and ride it anywhere they want.
No, I mean, that's great. No, we also are brand agnostic and also currency agnostic. So I don't care what currency you pay me, as long as you pay me. Uh, you can use Bitcoin. I don't care. So we are almost here in the top of the hour. It's going to be 40 minutes. I will let you guys do a last statement, each of you, about the company, the technology, and most importantly, how we get in contact with you guys. If anybody watching this podcast say, I'm interested in more information about this product, how do I get a hold of you guys?
Absolutely. Well, we are.
Let's change the dynamic. Let's start with Carlos. Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos hasn't talked at
Statement
all.
about your product. You're the guy who don't talk that much, but I know that you are the one who have your hand dirty in the field, and I feel you, because I been there in my younger years, I would say.
Yes, just finally, I will add that yes, it is affordable solution, but it is still the best quality if you got the money to invest on. So not only if you cannot pay a 1 gigabit ISP, but if you can pay it, it's better for you because you can have more aggregate bandwidth. So it's the best solution for if you don't have all the money from your IT department, but it's also the best solution if you have all the money because you can aggregate up to 15 different ISP to your application. So it is the best solution as you have money or you don't have it. So that's what I would like to add at the end of the meeting.
All right. So whether you are rich or poor, if you want the best, you gotta go with the air.
Networks,
And
yes.
all right. I
So
don't know
to
if
reach this,
Benjamin is.
I think Benjamin.
Yeah, I'm still here. Just my camera had an issue.
All right.
So yeah, just wanna finish the conversation by saying that the solution is so put together that it's not only a SD-WAN plus security. We went all the way to having cybersecurity capabilities. We can do integrations with EDRs, MXDRs. We connected to SOC, NOC, SIEM. We do SASE, CTNA. So all of those products that will enrich the solution and will get you more visibility and compliance, those are already integrating into the platform.
Okay, awesome. David, you're a little closer here.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Ahead of, on behalf of everybody here, we are looking forward to being your partner. To help your MSP succeed. We are coming up with new products. Like I mentioned, we're going to have a compliant NOC and SOC that can also be FedRAMP and air gap for any type of client that you may have. On top of that, we also provide 5G, private 5G solutions for automation in manufacturing applications. And of course, we're looking forward to becoming your partner and your friend. And you can reach us at www.airnetworks.net. And you can also reach out to me at adame@airnetworks.net. And thank you so much, Edward. This was a lot of fun, actually. And I can't believe I didn't throw any dumb dad jokes.
Well, I guess when you rewatch the show, you'll see some. Well, guys, thank you very much. I'm so grateful about this team. I don't think this is going to be the last time that we're going to do this together. I think this is just the beginning, and the more comfortable that we are with each other, the more technology we're going to talk. There's a lot of acronyms that we throw out there. Some people might get like, oh my goodness, what these people are talking about. But we're going to make sure that in the following programs, we're going to be tackling some of those acronyms. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for those that are watching us, since we are doing this podcast and it's fairly new. Subscribing, liking, and sharing is greatly appreciated. And until the next time, thank you.